the edge of the park, everyone. I'm your host, Swift Edge, and today we are once more finding ourselves in Jurassic Allosaurus's channel. We watched a video titled The River, which was an illustration of the Jurassic Park novel that really, when I read that section of the book, was like, holy crap, picturing the T-Rex going into the water, chasing after Alan Grant and the kids was, whew, that was a lot. This time we're going to be looking at the juvenile fan illustration. And after having read that part 2 in the book, I have a feeling I know exactly what's about to happen to a certain particular character, but I hope you got your snacks, hope you got your drinks, hope you've had your water. We're gonna go ahead and watch this wonderful illustration. The video contains disturbing images. Well, it is the Jurassic Park
by Michael
novel.
Read by Anthony Vasquez.
Oh, you hear that thumping? Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, finding out in the book that there was actually supposed to be a juvenile T-Rex alongside the adult, that would have been crazy to see in the movies.
Ran his hands over her limbs, squeezing the arms and legs briefly. She didn't seem to have any pain. It was amazing. Aside from a cut on her head, she was fine. I told you I was, she said.
Well, I had to check.
The boy was not quite so fortunate. Tim's nose was swollen and painful.
He was destroyed from the T-Rex attack.
His right shoulder was badly bruised and swollen, but his legs seemed to be all right. Both kids could walk. That was the important thing. Grant himself was all right, except for a claw abrasion down his right chest where the Tyrannosaur had kicked him. It burned with every breath, but it didn't seem to be serious, and it didn't limit his movement.
If you actually read the book, seeing how it's described what happened to Tim, his face, just like pretty sure broken nose, bruising, the fact that there's like discoloration from all that wounds, because you know, if you're getting pummeled like that, you are going to be bruised, you're going to have sensitive skin. Lex got pretty easy with compared to being thrown around in the vehicle. And then Alan, I love the fact that in the book he's actually got beard, he's just a little bit more chiseled in that way, of just like this refinement of the beard, of he's a man who's gone on digs. He does not have that ability to trim up, so he just looks like mountain man-ish a little bit. But I love that you get such fear in that scene. If you have not yet read the book, you have to read it. It's so good.
I wondered if he had been knocked unconscious because he had only dim recollections of events immediately preceding.
When they say refined, I mean like when you have a beard,
you're refined. 10 yards from the
like,
Land Cruiser.
Come on,
first,
this is
his chest
beauty.
had been bleeding, so he had stuck leaves on the wound, and after a while it clotted. Then he had started walking around looking for Malcolm and the kids. Grant couldn't believe he was still alive, and as scattered images began to come back to him, he tried to make sense of them. The Tyrannosaur should have killed them all easily. Why hadn't it? I'm hungry, Lex said.
Me
Lex
too.
was annoying for that in the book.
We've got to get ourselves back to civilization, and we need to warn them about the ship.
We're the only ones who know, Tim said.
Yes, we've got to get back and tell them.
Then let's walk down the road toward the hotel. That way we'll meet them when they come for us.
Oh, that on your injured
Grant
nose is going to be a
that,
lot.
And he kept thinking about one thing. The dark shape that had crossed between the land cruisers before the attack started. What animal had that been? He could think of only one possibility. The little Tyrannosaur.
I don't think so, Tim. The road has high fences on both sides. If one of the Tyrannosaurs is farther down the road, we'd be trapped.
Then should we wait here? Tim said.
Yes.
Grant said.
Let's just wait here until someone comes.
I'm hungry, Lex said.
I hope it won't be very
She
long.
repeated that so many times.
Stay here, Lex said. Then, from the bottom of the hill, they heard the sound of a man coughing.
Stay here,
Grant said. He ran forward to look down the hill. Stay here.
That spot on his shirt is vomit from just everything that happened.
Don't leave me here, you guys. Grant clapped his hand over her mouth. She struggled to protest. He shook his head and pointed over the hill for her to look. At the bottom of the hill, Grant saw Ed Regis standing rigid, unmoving. The forest around them had become deadly silent. The steady background drone of cicadas and frogs had ceased abruptly. There was only the faint rustle of leaves and the whine of the wind.
Yeah.
Lex started to speak, but Grant pulled her against the trunk of the nearest tree, ducking down among the heavy gnarled roots at the base. Tim came in right after them. Grant put his hands to his lips, signaling them to be quiet, and then he slowly looked around the tree. The road below was dark, and as the branches of the big trees moved in the wind, the moonlight filtering through made a dappled, shifting pattern. Ed Regis was gone. It took Grant a moment to locate him. The publicist was pressed up against the trunk of a big tree, hugging it.
He's hiding.
Regis wasn't moving at all. The forest remained silent.
Yeah, normally if you're in any kind of area of any type of wilderness that you know for a fact would have cicadas, crickets, frogs, even any type of bird that even at night can be a little bit noisy. And if all of a sudden it's all freaking quiet, that's your brain going, run.
Lex tugged impatiently at Grant's shirt. She wanted to know what was happening. Then, from somewhere very near, they heard a soft, snorting exhalation, hardly louder than the wind. Lex heard it too, because she stopped struggling. The sound floated toward them again, soft as a sigh. Grant thought it was almost like the breathing of a horse. Grant looked at Regis and saw the moving shadows cast by the moonlight on the trunk of the tree. And then Grant realized there was another shadow, superimposed on the others but not moving. A strong curved neck and a square head. The exhalation came again. Tim leaned forward cautiously to look. Lex did too. They heard a crack as the branch broke, and into the path stepped a tyrannosaur. It was the juvenile, about 8 feet tall, and it moved with the clumsy gait of a young animal, almost like a puppy. The juvenile tyrannosaur shuffled down the path, stopping with every step to sniff the air before moving on. It passed the tree where Regis was hiding, and gave no indication that it had seen him. Grant saw Regis's body relax slightly.
I'd pee myself.
Regis turned his head, trying to watch the tyrannosaur.
Being that close to a
on the far side of
tyrannosaur.
the tree. The tyrannosaur was now out of view down the road.
And then it would sniff me and then I'm
Regis
screwed.
started to relax, releasing his grip on the tree. But the jungle remained silent. Regis remained close to the tree trunk for another half
That's
minute.
nature's way of saying don't
Then
do
the
it.
sounds of the forest
Don't do
returned.
it.
The first tentative croak of a tree frog, the buzz of one cicada, and then the full chorus. Regis stepped away from the tree, shaking his shoulders, releasing the tension. He walked into the middle part of the road, looking in the direction of the departed tyrannosaur. The attack came from the left. The juvenile roared as it swung its head forward, knocking Regis flat to the ground.
It
He
tricked
yelled and
him.
scrambled to his feet, but the tyrannosaur pounced.
It walked
and it missed him
around
with
to
him
get
with
at
his
him.
hind leg because suddenly Regis wasn't moving. He was sitting up in the path, shouting at the dinosaur and waving his hands at it as if he could scare it off. The young dinosaur seemed perplexed by the sounds and movement coming from its tiny prey.
Such a beautifully drawn
Bent its
image.
Head over, sniffing curiously, and Regis pounded on the snout with his fist. Get away! Back off! Go up, back off! Regis was shouting at the top of his lungs, and the dinosaur backed away, allowing Regis to get to his feet. Regis was shouting, "Yeah! You heard me! Back off! Get away!" As he moved away from the dinosaur. The juvenile continued to stare
looking like,
curiously at the odd, noisy little animal before it. But when Regis had gone a few paces, it lunged and knocked him down again.
It's playing with him.
Grant thought.
Treating him like a
Hey!
toy.
Regis shouted as he fell.
Why would you
but the
turn your
juvenile
back to
did
us?
not pursue
Like-
him, allowing him to get to his feet. He jumped to his feet and continued backing away. You stupid! Back! Back! You heard me! Back! He shouted like a lion tamer. The juvenile roared, but it did not attack, and Regis now edged toward the trees and high foliage to the right.
Roaring in
another few
defiance.
steps, he would be in hiding. Back, you! Back! Regis shouted, and then at the last moment, the juvenile pounced and knocked Regis flat on his back. Cut that out! Regis yelled, and the juvenile ducked his head. And Regis began to scream. No words, just a high-pitched scream. The scream cut off abruptly, and when the juvenile lifted his head, Grant saw ragged flesh in his jaws. No, Lex said softly. Beside her, Tim had turned away.
Still hungry,
nauseated.
Lex?
His night vision goggles slipped from his forehead and landed on the ground with a metallic clink. The juvenile's head snapped up, and it looked toward the top of the hill. Tim picked up his goggles as Grant grabbed both the children's hands and began to run.
Ooh, such a visceral sound effect. That was good. It was really well done. Honestly, the illustrations for the novel do help paint such a image of it, of like, this was a terrifying scenario of being trapped in a park with not a lot of escape options, not a lot of people to come and help you, and you're surrounded by dinosaurs. Whether they're herbivores or carnivores, you're dealing with animals that have instinct to be protective of not only themselves but of their territory, and they're not ones that are anywhere near acclimated to humanity. So right now you're brand new to it, and now it's curious. And the juvenile showed that with being curious, of playing around with Regis to the point of where it's like, well, now I'm bored and I'm hungry and now I'm gonna eat you. Like, that is beautiful for illustration. And the novel, if you have not yet read it, you gotta give it a read. It's so freaking good. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, though. And if you want to check out Jurassic Allosaurus' channel, link in the description below to go and check out. They have a number of illustrations over there from the books, not just the first book, but of also The Lost World. And if you enjoyed this as much as I did, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this. If there's any videos you'd like to see me react to in the future, give me some suggestions right down below, take them all into consideration. And if you're new around here and you've been enjoying to seeing, why not click that subscribe button and click that bell to get notified of the next video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye!